Signature Performance was founded in 2004, and we provide the administrative side of healthcare for both federal and commercial clients. So a lot of people forget about the administrative side of healthcare. From what we've seen over the last 20 years, that has risen up to anywhere between 30 and 40% of the overall cost. So our goal is to decrease that administrative burden so that our clients can focus more on what they're meant to do. Our contact center faced one giant hurdle. Federal contractors, for most of their IT systems, had to reach a heightened level of cybersecurity. They required what they call a FedRAMP certification, and our telephony system that we've used since the beginning of this contract was not FedRAMP certified. Once we had contracted with NICE to be our new telephony platform, they provided us with what their implementation timeline would be. However, our need and our client's need required that implementation timeline to be substantially quicker. So our account executive, Alex, reached out to us and said that there's a partner, TTEC Digital, who could assist us in meeting our expected timeline.
The partnership between Signature Performance and TTEC Digital has really evolved since we initially kicked off the project. I believe they were a little bit hesitant working with a third party and not the vendor directly. They quickly gained a lot of trust in us by us just demonstrating our expertise, the understanding of their timeline and how aggressive it's been.
A big piece of our call center is working with a lot of our nation's heroes. And oftentimes we get phone calls from people in crisis.
When that happens, they need to escalate to a third party without putting that member on hold or having them hear dead air.
So that they can get assistance from that crisis center and their highly trained associates as quickly as possible and as seamlessly as possible.
The three key solutions that we implemented for Signature Performance were their self-service IVR that they did not have on their legacy platform, the customized solution for the crisis line, as well as quality management, which they also did not have prior to coming over to NICE. It was an aggressive timeline that was driven by Signature Performance's customer, and so we were able to meet that deadline.
I didn't believe that anyone would be able to meet the timelines we set. TTEC Digital really changed my mind on how effective it can be to use a third party to help meet timelines when your main vendor doesn't necessarily have the resources. We're kind of known throughout the federal space as the yes people. And to be able to find a partner with us that has that same mentality is pretty rare.
We were able to tailor to Signature Performance simply because they were very clear on their requirements. Our partnership with them in testing the solutions and really doing proof of concepts that we knew would work. We demoed along the way so that we didn't have any surprises when we went into the user acceptance testing. And so they were able to get their hands on things quicker and really provide us feedback during the build phase on if the solution would work for what they needed.
So what TTEC allowed us to do was meet our clients' goals and to transition over to our new telephony platform timely, as well as provide a ton of expertise that we didn't necessarily have in-house. Shannon and her team at TTEC Digital were able to be project managers, they were IT, they were trainers, all the things that we needed in order to have a successful implementation. The feedback we've got from staff is very little, and honestly that's exactly what we were looking for. When you have 1,000 folks in a call center and you change their job in the slightest way, most of the time you expect to hear a lot of feedback. What we've been really happy about, both with the assistance from TTEC Digital, as well as our internal staff on how we trained the new telephony platform. Our associates were able to get in there and not miss a beat. The folks we work with were always yes and. It was, yeah, we can do that, and let's talk about how we can do that. Their professionalism, timeliness, effectiveness has been some of the best I've ever had the pleasure of working with.